Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And we got another hot one for you this week. But before we get into all of that, you know what time it is. Zoe's got a shout out.
Hey, shout out to everyone. Thanks for listening, guys. Happy holidays to you, and I hope everybody's in a good position out here in these streets.
All right, so today we're talking about not dreams, but mental visions. I don't know. We'll see. Should be good. We're about to find out. So strap in. Let the Kings talk about it. All right, good people, and welcome back to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And as I am every single week, you know what it is. It's Alan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Twan, aka Zoe. You know what it is, and ask me about my podcast, and let's go.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
All right, sir,
All
you
right,
got it.
all right. So the topic is I had a dream. Oh no, wait, it was a mental vision, and I was in the bed. Well, let's get the background, the context of this topic. I was lying in the bed trying to go to sleep, and I couldn't go to sleep because my mind was racing as it normally does. Shout out to my therapist and my medications and my doctors. Love you all.
Mm.
So I was in deep thought, so much that it was overwhelming, and I was literally crying because of the things that were coming to mind and in my thought. So first point here, I'm gonna start with seeing people in your circle that have deeper meaning. So for everybody that's in my circle or close to me, because it's really small, I don't have a lot of friends out there. I have a lot of associates, but friends I keep limited because there's something that I hold dear and close to the heart. So if I say you're a friend, you basically family. Can you hear me? Y'all following? Do I need
Mm-hmm.
to back up? Good. All right, cool. So with that being said, I went down the list of everybody that's in my family, the ones that I rock with, and the ones I don't really care to sometimes acknowledge. But anyway, so let's start with the kid. Let's start with the wifey first of all. Let's start with Ashley. So when when she came to mind, it was like in my history. If you've been listening to the podcast, if you have been following, and if also you know me, you know that there has been a lot of traumatic experiences in my life, and some of them, unfortunately, still hold me down at points. So Ashley was the representation of hope that I never had. So with me meeting her and seeing things differently and her helping me see things in a different perspective helped me get out of some of the rut that I was in psychologically and emotionally, all of that. So that was the representation that she had. And then I get down to the kids, and this is where it really hit me. Like all the kids represent a stage in my life that I've been through. For example, so the son, young, wants just a boy, you know. Boys they say they don't never want to clean themselves and the room is dirty and but their imagination is crazy and very so for me with Lathan, I got that from him, the young innocence, as far as just boys wanting just doing boy things. So that was that stage of my life. Then uh, a Shay represents the portion when I was broken in life, when I was going through the adoption and not knowing my parents, and just things were, they were emotionally entangled, like there was no clarity at all. So um, that portion she represents. Then I'm giving y'all a short version because I don't, anyway, let's move on. So that was that portion. Then we get to Alea, and she represents the portion of my hustle and grind, of trying to get things done, wanting to have my own, and wanting to build something um, in that regard. And then the oldest one, Alana, no shade, but she represents a portion in my life when I was I was kind of down bad, and I was still trying to figure things out. So those things became very clear to me, is as a reflection of who I was as a person, who I am as a person, and where I'm trying to get to. And then even with you two guys, like Alan, like you represent the the analytical, the data, the business minded, um, uh, ambitious, like that portion. When I was coming up, I didn't really understand it, so it kind of drew me to you so I can get to understand it. And a lot more that goes to that as well. And with Calvin, the family portion, well, some of the family portion, not all of it. We're not gonna get too deep, you know what I mean? We don't get too deep. But the religious side of it, though, on a serious note, on the religious side, that was also something that was a void in my life that I didn't understand. I tried to understand, thought I had an understanding, but still learning. Um, so that drew me to Calvin. And the initially it was the wild, rambunctious side of him that I was first introduced to initially. But then as time went on, and we still stuck together as friends, I've watched the growth of him from, I wouldn't even say a menace to society, but just Calvin. We know. And now if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna pull those skeletons out no closets, but if you know, you know. So it was just that growth, then that journey from him when he was young in the Marine Corps, I and then to now, I can. It's just like 180 in regards of how he approaches things. Like even when we was in Iraq, I saw changes in him, that he was developing himself as a person, as a man, as a pastor, whatever you want to call it. So, and that drew me to him as well because of his focus on trying to become better, a better person in general, or a better Christian, whatever you want to say. Um, that, and then with my family, man, the adopted family, that was something that also uh, uh affected me as well, and me seeing clarity in them. They represent the past that used to affect me, used to, I feel as if, held me back because I was a prisoner to some of the things that happened, and I had to get over it. So anyway, they represent the past of, well, no longer regret, but they just something that is there. It doesn't affect me, but is part of who I am, good, bad, and ugly. And then I have a few other things like my niece, Kiki. That's a part of the family that I do actually rock with, and it's a beautiful thing because the way we were raised. We know how we are because of the family, and how selfish the family can be sometimes, and how vindictive, and like all the negative stuff in the family. I don't get that with Kiki. I get complete opposite. So she is a representation of the family that I do rock with, and what I look to get more of in life versus the family that I had to deal with. And you rock her. She is blood, and she is the bloodline of the Richardsons. If you didn't know, the original last name was the Richardsons. So shout out to them. It's been a journey, learning them as well, because within the last couple years, it's been a learning experience. But there has been problems with that, because me, myself, and my sister have issues with uh, family, if that makes sense, because we don't like people like they know of us and they say, "Hey, man, we love you, man," and blah blah. I don't. It's something difficult for me to embrace. So I have to tell them. I have to be honest and open with them. Like, hey, yo, I know y'all using the L word. That's I'm not there, and hopefully I'll get there one day. But it's back to the mental clarity, man. So with that, all that I just kind of went over, it just put things in perspective for me, and it made me deal with my issues, because my therapist, when we talk, we have conversations of creating creating an imaginary box that you can put everything into it. You can put everything into it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and but you can't take anything out of this box. But you can always go in the box and just see everything, and view everything and experience everything whenever whenever you felt the mental capacity to do so, if you need to go back into it. So I went into that box, and I took a deep dive into the box, and it made me deal with a lot of the stuff, a lot of issues that I had with my past, and some of my present as well. So that gave me mental clarity. So my next point, let's see, protector versus the protected. So with my therapist, she mentioned that there is a protective side of me that protects the the I guess who I really am. I've always had to protect myself from things in regards of people, emotionally, physically, all that, through all the abuse that I went through. So most people know me as the protector. They don't really see the true me, because I'm always on edge. I'm always uh ready to fight. I'm always just paranoid of certain things. So I don't really give myself the opportunity to be open, to be vulnerable, if you will, to anyone. So with my therapist, she's Dr. Mac, man. Shout out to her. So she has me close my eyes, and she has me talking to the protector. And in that conversation I had with myself, if you will, that night when I had these other mental thoughts, I had a conversation with the protector, and it was just really one phrase, one sentence. I will be okay. Um, Trying not to get emotional. Hold on, give me 1 second here, fellas. Got to puff my chest out a little bit. But anyway, so that conversation, and it was just that same phrase over and over again, and there was a relief, a heavy weight. It felt like that was not there anymore. So, uh, yeah. So with this vision, with this clarity that I have received, it actually has helped with. I mean, in that short amount of time, what did I say, like 2 days ago, in that short amount of time, there has been a significant difference in how I act and talk towards things and people in that short amount of time. And I'm pissed off because I'm like, yo, why couldn't it be like this? Why couldn't it have been like why couldn't have been like this in the past? But things happen. But I don't know, man. It's just that now I have a better understanding of things. I don't really get anxious like I used to. I don't have that desire to. I don't want to say hurt people, but just some people just irritate me, and they are triggering to me. And it's not even anything they did. It's just my perspective, and that's just what it was. So I am more open now. I used to me and Ashley joke because I told her I wasn't judgmental. I think I said it was, and I'm very judgmental. So yeah, I was naive, but I was just saying that I wasn't, and knowing damn well I was. So I'll give you an example. So as far as that change and difference that I've noticed in that short amount of time, I was at work and there was a test that needed to be taken, and the whole time I'm getting fed information. I'm getting misinformed and saying, "Yo, don't even worry about the test. They'll give you the answers and blah 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 blah." I'm like, "All right, cool, bet." So me hearing all that, I didn't take it serious, and I failed 2 tests out of 3, and it made me feel a certain type of way. But with that mental clarity, I couldn't even get mad because at anybody else but myself because I didn't take it seriously. And the test was, it wasn't nothing. I still passed the test, but normally in that situation, I would get uncomfortable to be around because I felt like I was hurting. I was hurt, but not physically. Just like I felt like I was lied to. And I don't like being lied to normally, and that would drive me into it's a trigger for my PTSD. I'll just say that. So anyway, instead of like going crazy and like I normally do, and just saying outlandish things out my mouth that could cause some retribution or some rebuttal, none of that happened. I just took it in stride. I didn't even say anything to the person and then the supervisor, he thought he offended me in some kind of way because he said out loud in front of everybody, "Hey, yo, you failed 2 tests, blah blah. You got this on this test and that test." And instantly, when I heard I failed, I went back to the conversations had like, "Oh, yo, don't worry about the test. You can't fail it, blah blah." And I was thinking to myself, "Yo, how did I fail when I was misinformed?" So the guy who called me out for failing thought I was mad at him because he called me out in front of everybody, in which I didn't care. That was not my concern. My concern was, yo, why am I the only one failing this test? So with that being said, I don't say nothing to him, and I assume, well, I know he was thinking about that moment of him saying or announcing my failure of the 2 tests. 2 days go by, and I'm quiet, but I'm not mad. I'm just sticking to. I'm just by myself in the corner. I'm just doing my code and stuff or whatever I'm doing. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm reading. I don't want to deal with nobody at that point. So me and him end up walking to Subway because it was a nice night. I'm fat. I needed my steps in. So I walked to Subway with him. And the first thing he says in the conversation, man, we didn't get out the parking lot. "Hey, man, I just want to let you know, blah, blah." I said, "Hey, man, stop. Stop. I know what you're about to say." And I informed him that I was not even concerned about him. It wasn't him that caused me to go into my quiet space to deal with what I was dealing with. And I just expressed to him, like I expressed to y'all, what my concern was and what my my reason of being slightly upset was, and that was that. That was the end of it. It wasn't nothing more to it. Now, if y'all know me, if y'all been around me and I'm angry or upset, oh, you can tell. You can tell. Everybody becomes an enemy, and I'll bite your face off like a leopard. What did Donald Trump say? Leopards biting faces off. What did he say? I don't know what he said, but anyway, I don't want to misquote him. But anyway, I'm not a pleasant person to be around, or was not at the time, and hopefully not in the future. Pleasant to be around at all. Even my family, bro. It was bad around here sometimes because that PTSD, the psychological spiraling that comes with all the mental health stuff, man. It was getting bad. Oh, to a point where I thought that Ashley was gonna leave me because if I don't get my shit together, she out. And I wouldn't have been mad at her because it would have been all my fault. So with that being said, shout out to the new year coming up. And I got an A from my psychologist for my yeah, that's new for me because I was expressing to her all these things, and of course she's been with me in this whole journey of trying to become uh mentally and emotionally intelligent or more healthy, or being better. So shout out to all that, man. That's all I got, man. That's 21 minutes of your boy Twine talking. Can I get a round of applause, please? Can I get a round of applause,
Oh,
man?
that's the wrong one. My bad. Oh,
Oh,
that's.
oh,
I
you
gotta
want
find
me
it.
to
I
go
gotta
back,
find it.
huh?
No, I gotta find it. I
You
gotta find it.
you you want me to go
There it is.
back,
There it
huh?
is. I don't
That's
have
what
the
we doing,
soundboard
huh?
label. I gotta label the
Huh?
soundboard. I gotta
You
relabel the
ruined
soundboard.
it.
I didn't know
You
which one it
ruined
was.
it. No, it's all
Sorry.
good though. But
I'm sorry. I'm
that's
sorry.
all, man.
I'm
But
truly
I
sorry.
appreciate y'all taking the time to listen, man. And it's just what some at the time I put it on the topic because like it was very potent at the time. So I just wanted to express that. I didn't want that moment of clarity to not be acknowledged. I did not want this opportunity to share with y'all a journey of mental health and trying to become better. I did not want y'all to miss that because a lot of people talk about it behind closed doors and they don't really talk about it out in public or just in general. So I would
I
just like
appreciate
to,
you sharing. I appreciate you sharing all of that.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I just didn't want to miss the
Absolutely.
opportunity. Just
And
want to
I
share.
really didn't know. I really didn't know which button it was. I was trying to find
Man, I
it.
don't care
He
about none
missed
of that, man.
he missed, he missed all the
You
buttons.
don't know what you're talking about, boy. You press all emotional
Look,
Emotional
damage.
hey,
damage. I'm sitting there like, oh man.
when I got when I got when I got to it, I only had one other button to press. So I was like,
You
all
only
right,
got
well,
one shot.
You got
this
one
got to be
shot.
because
You only got one
the
shot.
bottom two buttons are
One shot.
y'all's intro stuff. The top two buttons are both music. So I only got four other buttons. I went through three of them. So I didn't know where that
Oh,
was. I
man.
was like, oh man, I don't know where this applause is sitting.
That's crazy, bro.
Oh
But
man.
yo, either way, it was a little breaking the ice, joint. I appreciate you. So for the listeners out there, thank y'all for listening. And if y'all going through anything psychologically or mentally, bro, I encourage y'all that it gets better with time, but you definitely have to fight for it. You definitely have to put in the work and the effort to do so. You have to educate yourself and use all the resources that are available to you. And maybe we can I'll take some time to get some resources up for those who don't have military connections and things of that nature, because I'm sure there's other things that are out there for in the civilian world that can be used and utilized. So get her done, man. And don't be like people out here. It's people will say what they think you want to hear when it comes to like mental health. Like I don't want that. Like somebody tells me like, oh, because sometimes I share with people because they're going through something, me thinking I'm encouraging them. If I am, if I'm not, you know, they take it as is, or I take it either way. So I'm having a conversation about it, and then people will say, "Yeah, man, I'm going to go to therapy. I scheduled an appointment, did all this. Okay, good, man, good for you, good for you, good for you." And then the day comes, yo, I canceled it because I had to go board up my winter home for my father out in Alabasas. I'm making a name up. I don't know exactly where, but just anything, bro. Any excuse to not get the help that they need, and you clearly can see they need help. So shout out to those people who take it seriously. If you don't take it seriously, I encourage you to take it seriously. It could make your day. It could change your life, man. I'm trying to tell you. 2025 is definitely going to be a better year psychologically for the boy, mentally for the boy, financially for the boy. Man, we making moves out here. So I hope everybody else out there is also doing the same and not being stagnant and stuck in the mud. Don't wait for somebody to come help you. Help yourself. Put some work behind those prayers. That's all I got.
Oh, work behind them prayers, bro.
That's all I got, man. Y'all got anything?
No,
Thank
I ain't
y'all for
got
listening. I appreciate you.
nothing, bro.
This little quick one give y'all a little time to rest. You and Calvin, y'all can just sit back and listen to this one, kick back. So that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all. Maybe one day y'all could share some of y'all experiences.
I mean, I share my
Calvin.
experiences all the time.
All right, man. That's all I got, man. Appreciate y'all for listening. Happy holidays to you. It might be the New Year's. It might be Christmas. Whatever it is, man. I hope y'all do it well and do it safely out there. Love y'all.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. All right. That's a quick one. What's next?